Man, who's the genius who decided to put the replay mod camera right there for the intro time lapse? There's a bush here. It kind of obstructed the view near the end. But welcome back to the hardcore world. I hope you guys are all having a great day. Last time, it was episode 1. I built up this starter cabin, made a tree, built this little farm over here too. Found this beautiful area to build in, and I'm really excited here to really begin this world. As you kind of saw from the intro cinematics, I did also do the interior between episodes, and I think it's pretty cozy in here. So you walk in, you get this little like kitchen area. This also means I moved the chimney to over here. I think it makes more sense over here. The chimney was originally at the end of the house, but I just shifted it over here. We have a little bit of a storage room. We have, 8 double chests filled, but also like the walls here are just all barrels. So there's a lot more storage than it looks here, which is actually pretty cool. And then the same thing over here on this side wall. It's also just all barrels back there. A little bit more storage in the bedroom, just a barrel and a chest. Of course, a bed, the armor stand, and a bush. And then I got a little carpet here with some moss. I think it's pretty cozy in here. I like what I did. I think I used the space pretty well. This works very well, in my opinion, for a starter house. I love it. Also, last time, though, I got 3 pets. All right, we got the blue parrot, we got a green parrot, and we also have a horse. I have names for all of these animals. But I am severely lacking in iron. Yeah, I only have 14 ingots and 3 nuggets, so that's not enough to make an anvil to actually name the animals. I do have the 3 name tags, though, right down here. So the first thing I would like to do here in this episode is just go gather a little bit of iron, at least enough to make an anvil. I do have some options. There's some caves back here, and there's also like a dripstone cave over there. I think I'm gonna elect for these caves. I think it looks a little bit safer, but let me just go prepare a little bit, grab up a shield, make another pickaxe probably, and then we can hit that cave on that little mound over there. Also, you probably noticed, but I installed a day counter mod. As you can see, like, above my armor there, it says day 40. I just like having the day counter on screen. Like, I'm always curious whenever I'm watching Minecraft videos, like, what day they're playing in. Ow. And I figured I would just kind of put it on screen all the time for my videos. I might take it off at some points, but I don't think it's like in the way too much. It doesn't really take away from anything, so I like this mod a lot. All right, so in the cave over here, hopefully I can just find some nice and easy iron. Not seeing too much. I do see some coal back here, and you guys know me. I gotta grab all the coal that I see. That little cave in there didn't really go anywhere. I'm hoping that one of these at least has something to offer. I don't really want to do like a full-fledged mining trip right now. This cave over here is a lot more expansive, but I'm just not seeing any iron. Maybe I'm just not at a good Y level for it. Iron! We found some! Now to just get up there. I'm building up. I'm lazy. I need to go mining really bad, though, in this world. I am running out of a lot of stuff. But you know what I'm not running out of? Coal. After I posted the first episode in this series, I realized something. I never showed a picture of my cats, so I'm gonna do that now, as a cheap tactic to guilt you guys into liking the video. So look, these are my cats. Aren't they adorable? They're the best. They're my favorite. You should like the video now. Is that more iron that I see? Dude, we are rich. 17 whole pieces of iron. Somebody stop me. Like, not anymore, but when I was walking up from this way, this kind of looked like an Among Us guide. Like, does that not kind of look like an Among Us, dude? Kind of does. Over here, like, not really at all, but close enough. I do see these snowy mountains over here, though. I'm gonna head this way because there's a lot of iron usually in these mountains. I don't know if this is quite tall enough, but I'm gonna hope it is. I do see a couple emeralds, but I don't really want to mine those. I'm just gonna let these creepers blow up. Thank you. I do see a bit of iron as well, and a whole bunch of creepers. We definitely have enough iron for an anvil now. There are just a couple other veins here that I do want to go ahead and grab, and of course we do still have like 14 back at the house that I kind of forgot about, so I didn't even need to grab all of this, but it's fine. It's not like I'm not going to use it. And I think my reign of gathering coal every time I see it, I think is coming to an end. I'll keep gathering it every so often, but it's just taking too long now. There's so much coal in this cave. Okay, and there we go. Our first anvil. And, I don't know where to put this. Up there, I guess? Yeah, it actually fits perfectly. Wow, dude, it's like I left a spot for it. Man, I didn't, but It's like I did. Yeah, I did that. I left a spot for it. Yeah, edit that out. Make it look like that was on purpose. Of course, though, with this anvil, let me go through and name all the animals. Now, I got a ton of name suggestions for all of these animals, and I really appreciate that. Thank you all so much for your different name suggestions. But let's start with the horse. The horse's name is going to be Gravy. I think it's perfect. He's a brown horse. I just love the name Gravy. I think that's awesome. Thank you so much to Amanda Pedia for the name suggestion. I really appreciate it. Next up, we have the green parrot, and a lot of people suggested this name, and I think it fits beautifully. We're gonna name this little green guy Kiwi. There's probably too many people who suggested this name to really include, but I'm just gonna thank a few of you. Volzier mentioned Kiwi. Dark Link also mentioned Kiwi. And then we have another one here. Hold on, I'm scrolling through my phone. We have Drew to Scrooge also mentioning Kiwi. Oh, sorry, one more. Candle Dough. 4 people. So thank you all so much for the name suggestion, Kiwi. And then to, you know, kind of keep on that same trend, we got Gravy, we got Kiwi, you know, things, you know, like food items, things you can consume, whatever. The blue parrot, it's going to be named Galactic Destroyer. Yeah, you didn't see that one coming, did you? That name suggestion comes from Tony SN 7959. I don't know if I pronounced your name correctly, but thank you so much for that one. For today's episode, though, I'm sure you can all tell from the title, obviously, I want to build a barn. I love building barns so much. It's like right up there with a starter house. It's like my favorite thing in the game to build. So I'm incredibly excited to get started today. I'm thinking we could probably have the barn down here somewhere. I don't have the spot, you know, exactly figured out yet, but I just think like a nice winding pathway down the little hill over to here. Maybe, I don't know what direction it's going to be oriented at all, but we're going to have to clear out some trees, but I just think somewhere down here is a good spot to have a barn. Now, I'm not exactly sure what the color palette of the barn is going to be. I kind of have to still think about that, if I'm being honest, but there is something that I actually want to add here to the tree. I'm having trouble finding the comment, but somebody also in the comments of last episode mentioned that I should make some bird cages out of scaffolding. I actually kind of intended on doing that last time. I was going to like hang it from the house, but I didn't really have a good spot, I don't think, like on this house. I feel like there's too much detail already crammed into here, and I didn't want to do anything else. But with the tree, I think I could probably hang some like chains down from some of these branches and use some scaffolding along with a little bit of like bamboo trapdoors to kind of make a little bird cage for, of course, Kiwi and Galactic Destroyer. Gotta get used to saying that one. So I'm gonna go harvest up my bamboo wood, and then I'm gonna see what kind of design I can come up with here. Now, after messing around for a little bit, I have settled on this design for the bird cages. It's very simple, but I think it gets the job done, and it makes the tree look even that much more interesting. I'm a big fan of this. This is way better than the birds being on the ground. I also found the comment that suggested this. It is Travanowski. One of those two might be right. I don't know. But thank you. Thank you so much for the comment. While I was building these, I've also been kind of thinking about the color palette that I want to use for this barn today. And I'm leaning towards making it red, which unfortunately means I should probably go find a mangrove swamp. If you've seen my Forever World episodes, you know that I can't find these very easily. It took me way too long to find one in that world. Hopefully, since this is a regular Minecraft world and not a large biomes world, I'll be able to stumble across one far easier. I'm just getting a few things together to prepare to take a journey, and I'll be right back when I'm ready to go. I think I should have everything that I need to go explore a little bit more. The main thing I'm looking for, obviously, is that mangrove swamp, but I would also love to find a pale oak garden, just to kind of get every tree out of the way. I do still want some pale moss, too. I think that'll look good with a couple of the builds that I have in mind for this area. So let's head out on top of Gravy, our newly named horse, and let me see what I can find. I found this dark oak biome. I'm gonna kind of wander through here and hopefully find a pale oak, you know, forest attached to it, but I do also see this abandoned nether portal. And a lush cave over here, which is pretty cool. I might pop down there, get some glowberries, maybe a spore blossom or two. I think I'm probably going to spend a little bit of time here. So let me put Gravy in a little 2x2 hole. I still don't have enough string to make any leads. I was hoping to get some leads here too, so I can take Gravy with me on a boat potentially. I always feel bad doing that, just dragging him across the water. But I don't think horses mind too much, honestly. But let's go ahead and pop down into the lush cave here. What can we find? I don't want to, like, go too deep if this cave gets kind of spooky, but honestly, looks pretty good down here. There's a really good source of clay if I need that. But really, I'm just looking for a spore blossom if there's any anywhere. And I guess I should probably equip my shield. I do see a spore blossom right behind the skeleton. So we're going to grab that for sure. I would love to grab another one if I could. There's one right in front of me. There's a lot of mobs down here. Oh, wait, this goes into a mine shaft? Okay, that's actually pretty big. Because I can make a lead if I just explore a little bit of that mine shaft. I'm a little scared, though, because I'm still only in iron armor. And this guy is in better armor than I am. Oh, he dropped his leggings. I'm putting those on. I'm going to take a small peek into that mine shaft then. I don't want to be here too much longer. And I definitely don't want to overstay my welcome in a mine shaft. But if I can just grab enough string in here to make a lead, I'll be stoked. And then we can come back and loot the rest of this whenever I get better gear. Though, it looks like it kind of just ends. Like, there's no way to go on either side here. There's no way this is the whole thing, right? Okay, good. There's more over here. Because I just walked in right here, and there's no way to go this way, right? It just ends. And then that way, it's the same thing. That would have been the smallest mine shaft ever. All right. Anyway, let's just peek around a little bit. This also doesn't really look like it goes anywhere. Like, there's just a bunch of dead ends. There's got to be more over here, right? Like, surely. Okay, it opens up a little bit more on this side, too. Didn't really go anywhere over there. Started digging on the other side, and it definitely looks like it opens up. And I don't think I'm really going to explore any more of this. This is probably going to be it, because I do not want to die. And it's still so easy to die in these things, especially for a player like me. Oh, that's a zombie up there. What's up, man? All right, let's go ahead and grab up some of this string. I think I just need like 5 pieces, something like that. It is 5 pieces. Okay, and that is definitely enough for me. I'm going to grab up this little bit of iron and then get out of here. All right, Gravy, let's go ahead and continue the search over here. Sorry about that, buddy. I just walked right into that magma block. Oh, there's some ruins over there that are supposed to be underwater. Definitely going to take a look at that. And I'm sorry to do this to you, buddy. But yeah, I'm going to have to drag you behind. I think he has a good time, though. Look at him back there. He's vibing. He's fine. All right, what do we have here? Buried treasure map. I've looted so many of those, but you know what? I will take it. And another one. These are probably the same, though, right? Yep, I was really hoping for a fishing rod, but I guess that's all right. Let's see if I can get any free diamonds out of this. Still looking for this buried treasure here, and I found a pretty crazy looking mountain behind me. That looks kind of sick. And also another village. I don't want to get too sidetracked here, though. I am still looking for the mangrove wood and the pale oak garden for sure. And there's a couple shipwrecks in the ocean. So yeah, like I said, I don't want to get too sidetracked, but it's hard. I still need a lot of stuff. Honestly, though, it's alright if I get a little bit distracted. I'm not in any rush or anything like that. And I like just exploring in this game. It is a lot of fun. This village is massively lacking in chests, though. I've, like, not seen any yet. Okay, this one will be a chest. What do we got? What a crazy chest, dude. No way. A whole piece of bread? I'm not even gonna take that one. That feels wrong. That feels wrong to take. I also realized I've just had F3 up this whole time. I'll definitely be taking another bundle. Don't need potatoes. I'll take the apples. Those are good to have. Oh, and a blast furnace. Okay, that's big. Don't have one of those yet. And then we may as well check out these 2 shipwrecks. I feel like if there is a treasure map in these shipwrecks, it's probably just going to be the one I'm already looking for. So I probably have to go this way anyway. Yeah, it looks like it's just right over there. It is impossible to see down here, but we got a buried treasure map. And it is the exact same one. Nothing useful in that chest, and then there's just one more. But let me get my breath back a little bit more. And then we'll dive back down. I just dropped my sword. Or my axe, I mean. I grabbed it back, though. Okay, a little bit of iron. 14 iron ingots. 19 lapis. 15 emeralds. Definitely worth checking out. Hey, a diamond. I think that's 3 diamonds in this world. Each from a shipwreck. And there should be one more down here. Another map. And it's the same one. No diamonds in here, but I'll still take the rest of the stuff. I think this is the first blacksmith of the world. Still do not see a mangrove swamp, sadly. But I think we're getting somewhere. There's an acacia biome over here. Can maybe give Gravy a rest of, you know, being dragged around. Maybe just, you know, take horseback here in this acacia biome. But I'm going to take a pit stop at this village. Hopefully get some more iron. Maybe some more diamonds out of this blacksmith here. And we got some horse armor at least. Here you go, Gravy. Look at him. Looking so much cooler. I'm going to have an insane number of hay bales on this world. I've taken every one from every village so far, I think. Okay, the search continues. This terrain generation is insane. I kind of want to just explore over here for a minute. Another lush cave over there too. I can't turn around back far enough, but you see it. It's back there. Look at it. I found a pale garden at least. So that's one of the biomes that I was kind of looking for here. I just have such bad luck when it comes to mangrove biomes. I do kind of feel like instead of using red blocks, I might be able to make this barn out of the pale oak wood. That could look pretty good too, I think. I'm not going to give up just yet though. So let me gather up a little bit of the resources here. And then I'll continue the search for a bit longer. If I just really can't find a mangrove swamp, I think I'll probably just resort to this wood. I think, regardless, the build will still look pretty good. I got 9 of the pale oak saplings, got a stack and 10 of the logs as well, so that's a good head start. Like I said, though, I'm going to keep looking just for a little while longer. And then, I guess if I can't find a mangrove swamp, I'll just meet you guys back at the house. Dude, you can attach leads to boats now? This is so cool. Look at it. It's just on my boat. I had no idea this was a thing. One last little swim, and then Gravy and I are home. So, unfortunately, no mangrove swamp. I really feel like this is gonna be a repeat of the Forever World, but I very much hope it is not. We'll get that wood eventually. We definitely will, man. A huge advantage to taking all these, you know, explorations, even if I don't exactly find what I'm looking for, is that I have been just killing every cow pretty much that I've seen. And as a result, I have a lot of leather. That's way more than enough for a full enchanting setup. And then, of course, there's a ton of food in here, too. So we should be good on both of those aspects for a really long time. I'm going to quickly expand my bed to a 2-wide bed. This is what I wanted to be the whole time. I just didn't have enough wool earlier in the episode when I designed the interior. But let's take a nap in our home bed. That always feels great. Now that I put everything away that I gathered up on my exploration, I want to go ahead and talk about the color palette for this barn. So I'm thinking that we have a mostly stone foundation. And of course, with this stone foundation, we're going to texture it up the typical ways using some moss and some mossy cobble, much like the starter house. Alongside the mossy cobblestone here, I want to break in a little bit of the new pale moss. I think that looks pretty good up against the mossy cobblestone. I think it blends in pretty nicely, especially the further you get back. So definitely think that'll work here in the foundation. And then just as a quick placeholder here for regular stone, I have some andesite. I still obviously don't have silk touch, so I don't want to use my precious regular stone blocks. I might actually end up working in some andesite too, so it could be worth it to actually go ahead and grab some. I do think andesite looks super nice next to regular stone. It works great as just a slight highlight above the regular stone. So if I think I have enough space for it in the foundation, I might go ahead and work some in. On top of this foundation then, this is where I'm going to be working in all of these pale oak blocks. So we're going to use some stripped pale oak and some regular pale oak planks. And then I'm thinking about working in some tan blocks over here, like some sand and maybe some birch planks. I think these blocks here work super well with the pale oak wood. I imagine I'll probably have this underneath like some windows just to kind of look like the building is a bit weathered. There are animals living in the barn, so I imagine the walls will probably take some damage, and I think this is a good way of showing that. And honestly, I haven't thought too much about the roof, but I will probably end up just using some spruce planks again. I'm imagining it'll be very similar to what my starter house roof looks like. I kind of toyed with the idea a little bit of using deep slate. I don't know if I'll go through with that. But for now, my idea is spruce wood. I guess that could change though. This looks incredibly messy right now, but hang with me for like 1 second here. I'm also going to try to incorporate some mud into that foundation too. I should have mentioned that when I was actually going over the foundation blocks, but oh well. I mentioned it last episode, but I do like using mud in my stone block palettes. It just, to me, looks like a piece of stone covered in mud if you use it right. And that's the exact vibe I want to go for. This is going to be a pretty dirty barn. That's the main idea though. I think this thing's going to look really cool. So let me go ahead, grind out some material gathering, and I'll be back when I have everything that I'm going to need. Gotta be honest, I have no idea if this is going to be enough materials to completely finish off this building, but it should be enough to get a good start. And I did also go ahead and work on a little bit of terraforming. Nothing too crazy, just got a pretty large flat piece of land to actually start building on. I'm gonna have to like fix up over here because it is a pretty harsh drop, but that's a problem for me later. And I also cut down just a handful of trees, so we have a good plot of land now to actually start building on. This should be enough space for the barn that I have in mind. I also want to start getting better at building on camera, so I'm going to do at least a portion of this build on camera here while commentating, just so you guys can see my thought process and understand some of the decisions that I'm making. So the main idea I have here for this barn is I want a central, like a long rectangle going this direction. And we're going to make this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... maybe 7 blocks wide. I don't want this thing to be huge, so I think 7 blocks is probably good. And then we're just going to kind of come back this way a decent amount. About there looks pretty good. So let's just round this off. And this is going to be where we enter from. And then attached on either side, I want to kick this out a handful of blocks as well. Maybe like that many? Yeah, and then let's connect that up so it is right in the middle of that wall. So something like that. And then we'll do the same thing on this other side. So I think I came over 4 blocks. I'm just going to walk this all the way down here. So it connects up at the same spot. So that's going to be the basic layout of this building. And then all of these blocks are actually going to be taken away. So in these sections here and here, that's where the animals are actually going to go. Now I'm going to build up all of these walls, at least a couple more blocks. And I'm going to stick with only 1 block for right now, and then we can come back through and texture. I'm thinking we go up here just 3 more blocks total with the cobblestone section. And then on top of the middle like rectangle that we made, I'm going to start incorporating the pale oak wood, just like this. And then we're going to bring this up a couple more blocks too. I think this pale oak section is going to be a little bit taller than the cobblestone section. Admittedly, right now, this thing does not look great, but that's just because there's only 2 blocks here and it's very basic looking. So we're going to fix that at the end for sure. I just want to get the base shape down for now, and then I can come back through and make it look a lot better. I've been working on this roof way longer than I care to admit. And I still don't really have anything. I was going with like a more rounded design, and I just could not come up with a good one. So honestly, I think instead I might just make this roof incredibly simple. What does it look like if I just stare up to the middle? And then maybe just throw a couple slabs over here and round it off like that. How does that look? Honestly, it does not look bad. This roof is subject to change, but I think for now I'm going to commit to this. I do sort of want to bump it out 1 more block though, and you'll see why in a second. The reason why I wanted to do that is because I want to add a little bit of spruce wood in the walls up here, just to give it a bit more interest. And the way I'm going to do that is by putting an upside down stair, just like that. And then I'm going to be putting the spruce logs on top of the stair, connecting all the way up to the roof up here. And we're going to strip all of these. Gonna do the exact same thing on the other side. And then just taking a step back, you can see it frames out that second floor pretty nicely. I'm gonna go ahead and put some trap doors here at the bottom. I always just like that. The stairs into the trap doors I think look really nice. And then I do want to put something here, just so it breaks up the cobblestone going directly into the pale oak wood. And I think something kind of like that looks pretty nice here. There's probably some more detail that I can add to this front face as well, but for now I like what this looks like. So let me shift over to the roofs of the 2 side sections. I do think I'm going to bring these side sections each up just 1 more block. I'm just going to do this one side over here for now, and then I can, you know, replicate it over there. And then for this roof, I want it to just kind of gradually meet up with the wall. So I'm probably going to be using mainly slabs here. Actually, you know what? I think I might take some inspiration from a previous build of mine. I'm over here on my Forever Worlds, in my Italian village that I started a little while back, and I'm mainly looking at this building right in front of me, this green one. So this section over here, on the left side, I really like the roof that I added here, and I think I kind of just want to take this exact thing for the barn. So as you can see, it just gradually goes up until it meets the side of the building, and I feel like that's going to look really good here in my new build. Now, I do think that this section over here is 1 block longer than what I put down for the barn. But that's okay. I feel like I can probably accommodate this pretty easily. It'll just stop right here then. So let me transfer this roof back over to the hardcore world. And just like that, we have this new roof on this left side, and I think that looks really nice. So let me put that over here on this right side too. And now with both of those in, you can get a better picture of what this building is going to look like in its entirety. Obviously still a lot of detailing to do, but I like the shape a lot. I think this is going to be a really nice starter-worthy barn for us. I want to continue working on just this front face of the building, but I want to start working in some textures and some different blocks to make the building look better. So I'm going to start cutting away at the cobblestone here. And we're going to start working in some moss. And then, of course, everything that's touching this moss, I'm going to put some mossy cobblestone. I've said this plenty of times, but this is by far my favorite way to texture. If you just kind of keep your blocks touching in consistent ways, it will usually look nice. As long as you have good blocks that you're texturing with, I guess I should say. Now from the mossy cobblestone, I'm going to start working in this new pale moss. And that's going to kind of darken up that corner a little bit more. It's not super noticeable, but I think it gets the job done very well. Now this left wall over here looks like this. I think it looks way more interesting this way. I like the color variation here now. And then I'm just going to probably poke in a little bit of regular stone. That's not regular stone. Hold on. I'm going to poke in just a little bit of regular stone there near the top. Nothing too crazy. Maybe another block right here. The thing with texturing is you just gotta kind of keep tweaking it until you get something that you're comfortable with. Like, I'm feeling pretty good with that. I'm gonna take a step back and see what that looks like. Yeah, I think that's looking pretty good over there. I like that new pale moss. This block's really nice. Gonna do a similar thing over here on the left side, but instead let's put the moss on this corner. And then I think I'm just gonna use only a little bit of the pale moss just in this corner here. And then we'll get a couple extra pieces of mossy cobblestone in there too. Just to blend that into the pale moss, because I think those two blocks look really nice together. And just with only those two sides done, I think this building looks way better. So that's pretty much what I'm going to be doing for the texturing for all of the stone bits of this building. Now let's move up to the pale oak wood. And honestly, I think this is going to be far more simple. All I'm going to do up here is mix in some of the stripped pale oak wood. That's pretty much the same color as the pale oak planks. It just adds a new texture, so that always looks good. And then I'm going to work in just a small amount of the birch wood and the sand. I don't want to go overboard with this, but just in some patches, it should look really nice. And then let me take down my birch wood scaffolding, and then I can take a step back here. Yeah, this looks good, I think. I think that adds a nice, like, weathered effect to the pale oak wood. It's pretty subtle. If you get too close to it, it might look a little bit off, but honestly, like, it should be fine. The further you get back, the better it looks. And that's kind of what I try to go for whenever I texture. Because if we're being real, I'm not going to be too up close and personal to that second floor. Like, I'll walk through it like that, but I'm not really going to be, like, standing up there too much, you know? And then last but not least, the roof. I'm going to texture up the roof too. I do need to go grab some jungle wood for this, so let me be right back. The texturing for the roof up here is going to be very, very similar to what I used in my starter cabin. I'm going to be transitioning the spruce wood into the mud bricks, and then the mud bricks into the jungle wood. And that's going to be pretty much the main idea for the texturing on the roof. So let me throw this in here, and I'll take a step back so I can kind of show you what it looks like. It is very subtle, but I really do like it. I really think that jungle wood makes a beautiful highlight here with the spruce. And then the mud bricks, just a nice in-between color to connect the two. So that should be the texturing techniques for every section of this building. And I hope you guys learned something here with at least how I texture. Maybe you can incorporate some of these techniques into your own builds. But I think that's enough talking for me right now. Let me cut it to a quick time lapse so I can finish off the rest of this build. Wait, hold on. Pause the time lapse. As you can see, I've done just an absolute crazy amount of work in that time lapse. I put down 2 whole rows, three whole strips of spruce slabs. Crazy. There's a wandering trader, which means, there's a chance that I could get mangrove wood. And if I'm being completely honest, if I get mangrove wood right now, after completely coming up with this color palette and building the front part of the building, I'm gonna kill this guy. Okay, I see dark oak. I only see dark oak. Okay, that's the only sapling there. Nothing else here I think is useful. Yeah, I don't need anything else. All right, you can live. Back to the time lapse. This build turned out so much better than I could have expected, honestly. Like, I kind of doubted myself throughout the process of this. I usually kind of go through that whenever I build anything. Because if you guys don't know, everything that I've built, at least lately, in my Forever world and in this world now, I just freehanded. I built it for the first time in the world itself. Like, I don't have a creative world or anything like that for this. And that usually leads to me being a little bit not confident in my abilities, because at some point throughout the process, the build doesn't look good, and then I just don't think it's going to end up looking good. But I just trusted the process with this one, and I am super happy with the outcome. I actually ended up getting a little bit carried away, and I added a whole bunch of extra details that I didn't really talk about before. That's kind of on me. I just kind of got lost in the video I was watching and just kept building. But I'm going to fly around a little bit just so you can see this thing in its entirety. I decided to change the roof shape up a little bit. We have these two little like windows up top now too. I just think it makes like the side areas look a little bit more interesting. Before it was just a tad bit too flat, but I like the look of this a lot, so I'm glad I went with that. As for like the other exterior decorations, we have a couple leaf piles, a couple piles of hay bales, a few chests and pots and stuff like that. We have a little covered section off to the left too, just to kind of break up the symmetry a little bit. I decided to put a whole bunch of signs going all the way around. I feel like that looks good for a barn. So yeah, overall, incredibly happy with this. The interior is still very, very bare. There's nothing on the inside, and that's actually what I want to work on to finish off this video. I'm probably going to keep it pretty simple. I want this thing to be mostly functional. So let me just grab up a couple materials, and then I will be inside. First things first, I'm going to go ahead and replace the floor on the inside here. And there goes my shovel. That didn't last very long. All right, new shovel in hand. So let's get rid of this entire floor on the inside here. I think I'm gonna have this main like strip in the middle. I'm gonna make that out of oak wood, and then I'm thinking the sides can be out of some kind of dirt, probably coarse dirt. I think that just looks the best personally. I don't know if I have gravel at home to actually make that, but I will check in a minute. Though actually, hold on. Let me not get rid of all of this. I think I'm gonna have some sheep on the inside of here, so I want some grass on this side. So I'm gonna let the grass grow back over on that like half that I already destroyed. So the sheep are gonna go here, the cows are gonna go over here. So for the cow pen, I'll make that mostly out of coarse dirt. I think I'll probably just have just a few patches of the stripped oak planks, just to add a little bit of texture variety here to the floor. Yeah, something like that. That looks pretty good. It's basic, but I like the color. All right, and there is all of the coarse dirt in. I don't think I'm going to texture this up at all. This is going to be filled with cows in no time, so honestly, there's not much of a point. Now, some extra leaf litter on me. I'll throw that down here. You really can't notice it at all, but whatever. Now I want to start working on some spruce pillars on the inside to act as support beams and just kind of shape out what this interior is going to look like a little bit more. And actually, I want to put barrels at the bottom. It looks interesting. It also acts as a little bit of storage on this first floor if I need it. All right, and now it's looking a little bit more sectioned off. Gonna go with the classic archway design here. I have reused the same design roughly 1 billion times, so nice to see it again. I do want to put a fence gate on either side here, just so we can get in and out with the animals pretty easily. And I want to use these mud brick walls just to change it up a little. Wait, I'm out. I'm out of mud brick walls? Oh, that's sad. Got a couple more mud brick walls. Let's throw those there and there. Gonna go ahead and just probably put a very simple ceiling on the inside of these pens. It's gonna be entirely filled with animals in here, so I'm not too worried about the aesthetics of the pens themselves. But I will throw a little bit of hay. Why not? Give them something here. All right, now these pens are completely ready for animals, but before I do that, let's finish off the rest of the interior. I want to continue these beams going all the way across, just like this, and then I'm gonna have another archway design. Instead of using the stairs and the trapdoors, we're just gonna have only slabs, because this way I can put lanterns on the front and the back, just like that. I'll put a trapdoor in the middle one, though. Now I'm going to go ahead and fill in these little gaps in the middle just to finish off the ceiling on this first floor. And you can see the back here is still empty. There's no ceiling on the top because I actually want a staircase back here to be able to access the second floor. Yeah, there's enough room there to get up and down. That works pretty well. Could probably add another, like, beam here just to make it look like it's being supported a little bit better. And then I can probably do that to kind of round it off. That doesn't look so bad. I kind of figured I could put some storage down here. I don't really have many more barrels or chests, but I kind of wanted to put the storage under the stairs down here. I feel like that would be a pretty good use for that area right there. And I guess we'll do the little rounded off section too. I need more trapdoors. Let me see what this looks like as well, actually. What if I did that, and then there's a room back here with some storage. This can be a little crammed, but honestly, I don't mind it. Because this will actually give me room to put double chests back here. And I think I'd be able to open them all. I think I could just do this. Oh, and I can't open that top one. Okay, hold on. Let's just change that one out for a slab. Think that should work now? It does. Sweet. Okay, we actually have a good amount of storage in here now. It doesn't look like much, but 3 double chests, 2 barrels, and then all the barrels underneath the pillars. Like, that's plenty. And then now upstairs, I have no idea what I want to put up here, so I don't really think I'm going to decorate this right now. What I will do is add a little railing, just so I don't run up here and then fall down and take damage. And I guess I'll make the ceiling look a little bit nicer from in here. I suppose that's the least I can do. But if you guys have any other ideas of what I could put on the second floor, please let me know in the comments and I'll probably take one. Honestly, I think the last thing I'm going to do on the interior is just put down some leaves just to add a little bit of greenery to the inside here. And I should probably get something to plant these in, like composters or something like that. Yeah, I should definitely grab some composters. Actually, you know what? To change it up, I think I have a few cauldrons in the house. I'm going to use those instead. The composters might just blend in a little bit with all the spruce. All right, got 3 cauldrons. Put one there, and one there. And I think that's going to be the completed interior. It's not much, but I like it. I also have a bell. Hold on, wait, I forgot about the bell. Kind of wanted to put this somewhere. Where do I want to put this? I like it. Of course, though, it's not a barn without animals. So, let me go grab 2 cows and 2 sheep. All right, so now 2 cows and 2 sheep are safely in the barn, so we can start breeding them up and get the advancement, the parrots, and the bats. Let's go. The final thing I want to do in this video is I just want to have a pathway connecting the starter house and the barn. I don't think I'm going to really design this pathway too intricately right now. We'll probably just use path blocks and then just some type of slab just to get up all the different elevation changes. And I will definitely go ahead and clean up my chest monster over here. And when I come back, I will throw some shaders on and we can take a good look at everything that I've built so far. Why did you guys even have to come here, man? I'm doing my outro. They just bother you so much in this game, man. But anyway, yeah, so I have shaders on now, as you can see. World's looking beautiful. Just wanted to take a quick look at everything that I built so far in the first 84 days here of the hardcore world, just as I end off this video. So here's a look at the starter house with some shaders in the tree with the birds hanging down. I still love this vibe a lot, especially with the shaders. This looks so good. Very cozy up here. And then this new pathway, it's very simple, just some path block, some coarse dirt, some mud brick slabs, and a little bit of the leaf litter on top. It's not much, but it gets the job done. And then a quick look at the new barn. I am still very proud of this. I've said it a bunch of times, but this looks way better than I thought it was going to. This is one of my favorite barns that I've built lately, so I hope you guys like it as well. But thank you all so much for watching this episode. I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. And I will talk to you soon. Bye.